Yes, people, big up to you all. Good morning. I hope you're all doing well. Without wasting much of your time, we have to get into this one as quickly as possible because we have quite a lot to talk about. Plus, I know we're all, the My City game is very important to us. So it's important that we round off on time so we all can go watch the game. But more importantly, as usual, I'm gonna, get to say hello to those people in the chat and see how we're all doing. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. And big up to you, my bro, Briani Rahayu, aka 343 Dylama, aka Contender FC. I hope you're getting better. And thank you for telling us yesterday how you all are feeling. Okay, let me see what else. What am I doing here? Is there anything new there? Okay, I'm not sure. But thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. I appreciate you so much. And I hope you're getting better, more importantly. Remember to drop the likes, people. We'll have 10 likes already. Let's get it to 100 before the show ends. This is going to be a less than 15 minutes stream because we all have to go watch Man City. Man City is our team today. Let's see what else we have here. It will be good if we get if we get these three players on board. Okay, Chelsea midfield will be jammed. With clinical finishes like Nkunku and get top strikers as well. But thank you so much for saying that. And that's Abdul. Abdul, thank you so much for joining the show. And Jerry Z, my bro, it's Poch time. Yes, that's what time it is indeed. It's Poch time. It took 25 days to get the deal done, Coach. The spilled coffee was a sign. I'm loving it. Come on, Poch. Yeah, that was hilarious the way you let me know what that did to you. But then again, 25 days isn't too long, really. But because we've been anxious, we waited for it. We expected it to happen sooner than later. We became concerned that maybe he's given up on us, he's moved on from us or something to that end. Please, just quickly, if you're not a moderator, avoid using all caps when typing. Otherwise, your message will be deleted, and at some point, you will be timed out by the machine that's policing the chat. It's not a human being, so don't take it personal when that happens. It's a machine, a robot, if you prefer. Big up, Kachula. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. All of Europe is still going cha-cha-cha from yesterday night. A nice way to start Poch. You could say that. Let's see what else we have here. Most teams would be in Chelsea. Pochette. Yeah, I like that one there. I put hypothetically speaking, Bowley finally decides on Poch after Big Sam failure to beat Newcastle. It turns out Big Sam wasn't ahead of home, wasn't ahead of Eddie Howe. Might as well Poch right. I think you're being creative, and I'm finding it difficult to read it, but I understand. Big up to you, brother. More importantly, I'm happy you're here. I think that's a sign that you're feeling better. It's not just a new coach. Circumcision must also be renewed. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Must also be renewed. Players who are old must be sold richly. Havertz, Pulisic, Stalin, Koulibaly, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Ziyech, Aubameyang, Azpilicueta, Silva, Cucurella out. Okay, if that's what you want to happen. And just see, big up. If I haven't said hello to you, I'm just in a hurry. For sure, we cover quite a lot before we round up for the day. But there's a chance we have the members only show later in the day today or the daily roundup in one of the two. The young ones who are currently being loaned out are ripe, so they can enter the core team and get minutes to play, like Liver Colwell, Ian Matson. My wound shines at another club. I'm not sure, or maybe it's me because I haven't had a coffee this morning. Let's see what else we have in the chat here. Can people stop going on about Declan Rice? West Ham aren't getting relegated anymore, and our squad is midfield heavy as it is. But if Richie, I get your argument there. But if we're really talking about our midfield, are we really? It's not balanced. We have a bloated midfield. We don't have all the profile of players we want in that midfield area, if that makes sense. So we need to sign at least one player in the midfield area. You can't say we're complete there. We have lots of midfielders, but it's not really balanced. And Bobby says, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, people. Yes, keep dropping the likes. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. I think we can do that by the time the show ends, even though it's going to be a short one today, but we can make it happen. AKA Vivel. I missed one. Vivel FC, coach. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, and don't fresh out. Avoid using all caps because you're not a moderator yet. Otherwise, Nightbot would delete it, and it's a machine. It's not a human being. Hello, coach. Hello, Blue family. Hello, it's Poch time. Yeah, I have a good feelings. Yeah, I have good feelings too. I think he'd do well at Chelsea. He wasn't my first choice, but I'll take him over some of the others. That were mentioned. I said at the time we didn't know he was the front runner. Your background needs a signed CFC jersey. Maybe I have a few, but not signed. Maybe I'll try to see if that will come in and look good there. Hello to you too. It's watch time. Yeah. I have a good feeling too. So let's get into the items we'll have to discuss immediately. But if you're in the chat, keep dropping the likes in the stream. The likes on the stream, the likes to go a long way. Thank you so much for 12 likes. But I sincerely do believe that we can be doing way better than that. And this here from Fabrizio Romano, I don't know if that has changed. That's a chance. There's a chance it has changed a few minutes ago because the reports are coming in thick and fast. No church about that. Let's see what else we have here. I don't think anything else has changed. But I think from what we've heard, I think we can say it's done. We can say welcome, Mauricio Pochettino. Welcome to Chelsea Football Club. This here says Mauricio Pochettino will sign a contract in the next days, but he will start this new Chelsea chapter in June. Now he says as Lampard will remain as caretaker coach, Poch will bring in his people for coaching staff, and he will discuss a transfer strategy with club immediately. That makes sense. Since he's going to become the manager, it makes sense for him to start discussing the transfer with the club hierarchy. Club's hierarchy, because the summer transfer window isn't that far. It will be upon us in a few months. Actually, how many months? May, June. What month again is the summer transfer window? I think it's about 3 months at most. I think. What month exactly? If you're in the chat, please help me with that. What's going on here? I've lost my window. Just give me 1 second there. So let me know how you feel about Pochettino, potentially becoming, you can say imminently or becoming the new Chelsea, emerging or being announced as a new Chelsea manager. I think it's going to happen. And for me, I'll take him. Like I said, he wasn't my first choice, but I've taken my time to come to terms that he will eventually become Chelsea's new permanent manager, and I'll take it. I think, like I've always argued, he actually overachieved at Tottenham, and I think he'd do well at Chelsea. And I believe the PSG experiences is good for him, and he must have learned a thing or two on how to handle a big squad or players with big ego and all that. But I'm going to move on. I want to bring in Bobby immediately to let me know what he makes of the situation. Let us know what he thinks about the situation. Bobby, big up to you. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the panel, and you have the floor. What do you think? You let us know. All right, I'm going to keep speaking until I see that Bobby is ready. Maybe he's not ready, or sometimes. Okay, there you go. He's there. I was looking at his microphone to see when he's ready to speak. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, big up, Coach. I was actually trying to unmute. Sometimes it's when I'm using my phone, it gets stuck.
Not easy to do. Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. Listen, Coach. As we know, with transfers or anything, nothing's done until it's done. The here we go is good. The talk of a few more days is good, which, let me say, we've heard it before. However, what we haven't heard is the here we go. And I think it's very important that the club actually go ahead and get this deal done, because the planning and the strategy for next season is immense. Chelsea cannot finish in the position we have finished this season ever again. We must get back to the top of the football pyramid where we belong, and that's not easy. Um, Players from the squad that Pochettino, yet again I say, if it's him, although it's looking more likely now, players from the squad that he will have must have good conditioning. Preseason is important. Players like Mount, James, now Kante should use this period to recover and prepare for preseason to be fit. I like the idea of a total revamp of the midfield. If that's what we are doing, I support that 100%. That would probably mean the sale of people like Kovacic. Sadly for me, because I know the kid Ruben, if we are bringing in the likes of Mac Allister and Caicedo, or Mac Allister and Ugarte, or whoever, or Alavia, bringing in two midfielders, physical, good at executing the and finishing is very, very important. However, we still have to remember we have the likes of Cesare Casade, who I think will be an excellent midfielder, and we have the likes of Santos. Whether any of them stays on loan or whatever, I don't know. And also there is people like Chokomika, who I think, sadly, an opportunity was missed in a season like this. This should have been a season to give him playing time and development time, and that was wasted. You can put that down to Potter or whoever. I'm fed up of looking backwards. I think it's important we look forwards now. Potter was a mistake. Perhaps the premature offloading of Tuchel was a mistake, but you know what? I think the owners have, they learn from their mistakes and they kind of, hold their hands up. I know there's sections of the fan base that want them to be groveling and throwing themselves off a bridge in the name of an apology. But I think what they're doing is enough. They had to learn. It's very interesting and important to point out that Bowley never wanted to take up the director of football position. It was just something he had to do to keep the club in a certain direction after the way it was taken. But those that are invested in mischief in the Chelsea fan base will continue to try and push that narrative, like they tried to push the narrative about Thiago Silva. And although yesterday it was a one-off, really, I haven't heard it anywhere else. But someone was trying to push a narrative about Modric, which is an absolute lie. These guys are going nowhere. They're part of Chelsea going forward. They're part of the rebuild. There are those that will move on, but certainly not Modric and certainly not Thiago Silva. So glad that
Yeah,
as soon as
we
they
will
got,
we have a show schedule for that. It's
yeah,
not public yet. Yeah, we'll
yeah,
get
but
into that.
so glad that as soon as they got wind of it, both he and his wife really dealt with it. And as for Poch, he needs to now be known as the future, and he needs to start to look over the team as he's doing. I really like the idea of Emiliano for goalkeeper. Is it what's his name? Emiliano, the Villa guy. Oh,
Martinez.
Martinez. I think he's got Chelsea written all over him. He will be good for us. People think he's too old. I don't. I think a 30-something-year-old goalkeeper is not too old, especially in view of the fact that we've got Slonina coming behind him. I think bringing him in with Slonina and Bertinelli is an excellent goalkeeping pairing, and Kepa and Mendy have to move on. I'm excited about the plans. I'm excited about the midfield. I'm excited about his idea of a striker. There's rumors that we're still in for Osimhen. He thinks he can use him. There's rumors about Lukaku, which gives me some concern. I'm not really convinced about that one. But the striker issue is a talk. Being Argentinian, I don't think we're out of a bid for Julian Alvarez. It will be quite a coup, but I think we've got reason to go for it. He's a number one striker, and he will never be number one at Man City. Although they're trying to bribe him to stay, I think we should rock their boat a bit. So,
All
yeah,
right.
Pochettino has that sweet spot contract. Is it 3 years, which I think is the right thing to do, and hopefully, he's able to sort out our problem.
All right, let me catch up with the time. I'll come back in, so we'll knock out the items we have lined up. It's going to be a short one today, and I don't think we have up to 40 minutes left because we have to go watch the game. It's a game that's of interest to Chelsea fans. And big up IVZ, the Lampard back as a caretaker manager in 2 years because you think what will happen. I don't wish that on my club. I want things to start going the right direction. Do you think Bolly would take advantage of transfer deadline for headline PR? Like last minute a splash the cash signing. I don't think he's going to do that again. I think any signing will be, carefully contemplated, carefully considered. And I think the ones they signed actually you could say were carefully considered also because I still think our biggest problem. I get it. The players, Dean, you could say they weren't fighting on us in this. Just, for lack of a better term, the majority of issues we've heard of late you can say come down to the players not being coached properly. I get it. There are multitude of reasons why we'll find there is a multitude of reasons why we are where we are today. But I think with a better manager, had we had a better manager in place, we could, we could have been better off. But I want to move on from that. This year, let me see quickly. I wouldn't have anything to do with this year's team either. I'm sorry, but you can't just spend 600 million plus and then change the team again. But I know we all have our arguments. When we won a few games in a row, nobody said much about the players until we started having going through a losing streak. Then people started complaining, finding who to blame and all that. And I think, given how badly we've been of late, it just doesn't make any sort of sense to isolate anybody's performance, even the managers or the players. I told you guys, Raheem Sterling will be a threat yesterday, but we need to keep the ball and defend better without the ball. But happy for Pochettino. Hope he can bring happiness to the breach again. I hope he can because I want my club to do well. Whether you want to always think about the culture and the rivalry between the two clubs because he has coached Tottenham before. I think you just have to go with the flow, follow the punch, support the club, and believe me, I think he's a good manager and would do well at Chelsea. He was a Tottenham manager. He's no longer a Tottenham manager. He won nothing with them. And we're Chelsea, a club where even players that didn't get to win anything at clubs like Arsenal come to win something. Thiago Silva at PSG, upon all the money they spent, didn't win the Champions League, but he came to Chelsea and won the Champions League. So I have that belief that he's going to come to Chelsea and win something and do well. That's how I see it. And I'm taking my time to look at his days, to examine his days as Tottenham manager and recognize he's actually good. He was actually good for them, but they didn't invest enough in the squad to be good enough to beat their opponents in those finals that he's taking them to. And at PSG, I don't know whether those arguments that he felt that PSG is coming out from. The issues he had, that people are suggesting he had with the players preceded his tenure, or you could say existed before he became the PSG manager and actually did well with them, but was unlucky. But that's by the way I'm moving from that. Once we have to get through this quickly and get IB's thought. Welcome, Poch. You would do your best to win us a silverware. Only time we'll tell Chelsea have to give him a chance to prove if he's good for at least one season. Come on, you Blues. And the good thing is we're hearing it's just going to be 3 years. And maybe if he works out between the clubs, between the owners and him, then they extend it. I think they've learned a valuable lesson from the case of Graham Potter not to give a manager a 4-5 years contract. But we get more detail as soon as it becomes official. As for me, I prefer Mac Allister than Caicedo. I think they're two different profile of players. That's how I see it. Caicedo can actually suffice in the DM role, whereas you cannot say the same. I personally cannot say the same of when you're talking about Mac Allister. He's more of an attacking midfielder for me. That's how I see it. Let's see what else we have here. This says, hello to you too, Kim. So Rice, Mac Allister, ends of midfield. I'm not sure what the club are going to do, but it's one to watch because the rumors are that Pochettino wants a Declan Rice. The question is, are we going to be able to get him for how much? We may well prioritize other players, but I don't know. Yes, people keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 24 likes already. Let's try to get it to 100 as soon as possible because this is going to be a short one, and I won't let the panelists stay too much on a particular topic so that we can catch all the items, so that we can cover all the items we have lined up there. Hope Pochettino bring back Lukaku because we need a target man, someone who can bring our wings into play regularly, like Giroud did. Maybe that will happen. Let's see. The rumors are that at the end of the season, Lukaku and the Chelsea board will have a conversation. Then we get to see what will happen. Keshan, hello to you. I hope you're doing well. That's the attitude we need to have, Bobby. Yeah, we have to support our team. We can't change the fact if he emerges as the new Chelsea manager, if it's announced today and it becomes official, we can't change that. We have no option than to support our team. And if we do otherwise, we end up worsening the situation if it doesn't do well. I think there's a spike in Bobby's mic. A static, I think there is, but I think at one point it subsided. I think it has ended. Big up to you too, Aqua, Justice Aqua. My regards to you and your entire family. Same here, brother. And happy Mother's Day to all those that celebrate the Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. I think it's worldwide. Is it just the US? I'm not sure. I think it's worldwide. This says, Coach, Poch didn't win anything with Tottenham because it's the history of the of Tottenham. It's Tottenham. No matter how good you are, Jose Mourinho went there, who's a manager that's won a trophy at every club he's managed. And once he got to Tottenham, he didn't win anything. As something as Antonio Conte, he's won a trophy literally at every club he's coached. But at Tottenham, he won nothing. So maybe that gives us a clue, that it's not. It wasn't Poch's fault actually. It was Daniel Levy. It was because as simple as you presented it there on the screen, because he was Tottenham. Yeah, so we move on. At Chelsea, he's going to win something. So I like that one. I'd have to say that is actually the delicious comment of the day, and I appreciate that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's get the likes up and get it to 100 because this is going to be a very short one, and I'm sure all of us would like to watch the Man City game. As for me, the players that I want Chelsea to sell are Aubameyang, Loftus-Cheek, and Sterling. But let's see. Aubameyang most definitely will leave. Loftus-Cheek, you cannot say until the new manager comes in and decides what player. I think they're having the conversation right now. If in fact, it's as Pochettino becoming Chelsea manager, it's as close as those as the reports suggest. Good evening, Poch. Finished 5-3-2. Okay, 2-3-4 in his years in his time at Tottenham. That is a phenomenal job. Okay, you're talking about the numbers you're mentioning there. Represent where he's finished in the Premier League tables and those. Yeah, I think he did so well with them, even with an ill-equipped squad, you could say, with no investment. Cartoon, good. That's another delicious comment of the day. We should learn to support Pochettino because he's an excellent manager actually. But a lot of I think the fact that he's coached Tottenham, I think you can argue clouds the judgment of most Chelsea fans, especially the locals. You could say it's not just that alone. The culture, the rivalry, and more of what comes to mind. I request all Chelsea fans to enjoy Poch's journey and observe and watch. It will be clear lines. I think he will be successful at Chelsea. I sincerely do believe that. I would have preferred Urate, but his height will be a problem in the EPL. How tall is he actually? I've compared his statistics with that of Declan Rice without Dean actually check his height. But believe me, I think he's physical. He's aggressive. That's one thing I like, but I still need to watch him more to decide whether he should be, to my you could say my preference of the two. Really, right now it wouldn't make any sort of sense to jump to that conclusion. Alvarez would be a great buy. The Man City attacker? I think he's a fine player, and the players we're being linked with highlights the fact that Pochettino is more into you can say hybrid strikers than he is into traditional strikers. But I get it. If there's a chance we decide to just make do with what we have. You can say, AKA deciding to keep Lukaku because we're paying him, or maybe, but we're not sure what the club are going to do with him. We're being told that they will have a conversation at the end of the season. Then they decide what to do with Romelu Lukaku. Have you all seen the clip of Milan Ultra dressing? Milan's Ultra, dressing the team and manager after their defeat. I wish we had such, back in January. Maybe. I think sometimes you need to, you can say, I don't know how to, you need to, your character, comes into play, the way you present, the way you speak, or you can say, for lack of a better term, sometimes your speech needs to be beyond scolding, beyond, telling players what to do, what they've been doing wrong or what they're doing right. I think how you present it also does matter, if that makes sense. Let's see, why are we still talking about a manager when we got a Poch appointment now? It seems to be going on and on. It seems to be going on and on. We got to call. What word is that? Not tomorrow now. Here's the thing. John Goldman, nice to see you. Thank you for joining the show. I wish I understood what you're trying to. Your point there, but you're using some word I'm not familiar to. Next season, a minimum top 6. I think we'll get into top 4. And I'm still going to say this. I think we will actually do better than most people think we can do. I'm going to go, but before I do that, I think I have a few people there that I want to say hello to. United made a terrible mistake to hire Ten Hag. Poch will make United regret that decision. Sir Alex and Gary Neville wanted a Poch for a reason. You can say that, and Chelsea all the way. Big up to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. What is Caicedo doing on your list, Coachella? We're still considering him, but I think it's going to be a very difficult one to pull off if we really want to sign him. Good morning to you too, Chama. Happy Sunday to you. I hope you're doing well. Right now, I'm going to go to IBZ because we don't have too much time. I know lots of us, a lot of us would like to go watch the Man City game. IBZ, your thoughts on the appointment? It's imminent, really, for being honest. But what do you make of it? I know you're a very positive individual, and you always like to keep it straight. You don't like, beating about the bush. For instance, you were one of those that told us before time that it was going to be a long season, but I didn't know it was going to be as long as it's proven to be, and it's still going actually. So we can't actually measure how long it be at this point until the season ends. But what do you make of the news?
Yeah, big up everyone. Happy Sunday.
Big up to you too, brother.
Happy Mother's Day to you guys. It's not Mother's Day over here actually. It's 18th of March if I'm not mistaken. That Mother's Day is in the UK. But yeah, happy Mother's Day to everyone. And yeah, it's good news that we've got the stability now in terms of our pre-announcement agreement announcement in the next days. Obviously, the due diligence of Frank Lampard and not putting him in the spotlight is obviously put into consideration, evidently. So obviously, it makes sense for him to start the job in June. It makes sense why it's taken so long, because obviously all details will need to be ironed out. Signings, projects, players, all of those things that we may not even be privy to as well. So obviously, maybe even the what if things, assurances as well may have been discussed. So all of those things have been put into the table, and it seems that everyone's agreed And yeah, it's good for us to know that we have a manager coming in and we can see who he wants and what his outlining intentions will be. And if we can go off his track record, albeit the fact that he hasn't won anything substantial enough to consider him to be an elite manager yet. It's clear to see that we know what we're getting with Pochettino, and it's quite exciting.
It is. It is. Let me ask you this question before I go to the next question I have lined up for you guys. Do you think he will succeed at Chelsea?
It would depend. It would depend on a lot of factors. Because let's not make no mistake. Our expectations will now rise because of this. They'll give him. They will expect more from Pochettino than they did from Graham Potter. So the time will not be there. It's almost like he's the next best thing after Thomas Tuchel. So it depends on the time we give him. I want him to succeed. I'll have to give him 2 years. Me personally, I will have to give him like 2 years before I can see any sort of impact. Obviously, if anything happens before then, that's a bonus, especially the fact that we'll probably have no headache with European football. So concentrating on just the domestic issues, that will be a encouraging factor. But I'm not really expecting him to coast the league and win the league next season. No, I will need progression. I'll definitely need progression from where I was this year. So again, if we get into Europe, top 4, I'm not talking hurdle into top 4. I'm talking how, say, Newcastle have gone into top 4 this year. If we can attain that sort of progression, then yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that. So yeah, that is a success that can be built off of those type of improvements. So anything that can improve going into top 4 will be a success for me moving forward. Obviously, in the second year, Champions League, obviously more money to spend, players, what have you. The expectations will rise a bit, and I would expect probably challenging and building a big challenge for the league. Yeah.
Here's how I see it. I know we have we have issues and we have problems in the midfield area and the attacking area, and let's say those 2 areas more important. And for me, I also add we need a central attacking midfielder for all reasons I've explained time and time again. The importance of creating chances from the central area and not just from the flanks. I get it, but because that is just predictable. But if we can diversify our chance creation and also create chances from the central area, then we'll be unpredictable. Then we can, if you stop us from creating chances from the flanks, then we'll create it from the central area, because we really haven't had anybody capable of doing that since the days of Cesc Fabregas. I know Enzo has proven he's capable of doing that, but how often? He's not an attacking midfielder. He hasn't done that consistently. If anything, I think we'll end up playing him as a hybrid of 8 and 6, just like we did with Kovacic. But that's, by the way, I'm going to say quickly. Go ahead.
I think with him coming in, he will address what needs to be addressed instantly in terms of the goalkeeping situation and the striking situation. I don't think that will be a concern to us moving forward, because I think everyone knows that's what we need to address. So I think that will be addressed. Apart from that, it will be probably how he works with what he has, because that will be a lot of money that we will spend again on top of what we have already spent. If you want to consider those that are financial experts in the chat or in the chat, that will highlight the FFP situation. So that's where I'm kind of like, I know that the goalkeeping situation and striking situation will be sorted, but other than that, I think we'll see how it goes. Declan Rice, Caicedo, all of these guys, I don't see that very, very imminent unless players are sold. And yeah, that is obviously something that's going to be done as well.
Yeah, it does make sense. Yes, for me, I strongly believe that if we can be strategic with our spending in the summer and sign, in those areas where even the average fan who doesn't, see football beyond eye test and what else can tell you, yeah, we have issues in those areas. If we can be strategic with our spending and, bring reinforcement, bring an attacking in, and maybe change the goalkeeper. But honestly, for me, the goalkeeping department is the least of my concerns. If we can do that, I think we can actually do better than most people think we can. Just give me a second. I want to take care of something quickly here. 1 second. Let me see people's choice here because of the City game. I'm not sure what they want to do. Don't worry, people. I'll be with you in a few seconds. A few seconds, please. I think that's it. That will again. So let me see what we have. Vadio will be a good signing as well. We need to strengthen our defense for new season. I trust Badiashile, but he's still very young. And how old is Vadio? Is Vadio 25? Vadio, I think, is 21. Actually, let's look at it quickly. I think we're good in the defensive area. Actually, if you ask me, I don't think we need defensive reinforcements. Let me see. And Vadio, it's not going to actually come cheap. Yeah. Vadio is just 21. So I don't understand the argument that what's his name? That Badiashile is still young, but let's go for Vadio. And that's solved the problem.
I honestly don't think
you think that Badiashile presents. Go ahead.
I don't think that back four is changing. I personally don't think. I might be wrong, obviously. Anything can happen. But I don't think the likes of Cucurella, Badiashile, Thiago Silva, Kalidou Koulibaly, Reece James,
Chalobah, Wesley Fofana,
I don't
Levi Colwell coming back.
I don't think any of them leave the club. I think they all stay on. We've crossed that bridge last summer. That is set. And
plus the fact, if we're being honest, without the Champions League football, I don't think I think he'd probably choose other clubs over Chelsea,
unless one of them pushes a big move away, But I don't see any of them leaving. I see we keep all our defenders, including the ones that are coming back. No one's going.
Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes to go a long way. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in on the show. So yeah, for me, Vadio, as much as I'd like Chelsea to sign him, but I think it is a signing that won't make any sort of sense right now. Plus, we have to be honest to ourselves. In the summer, as we sell players, the club will also aim to balance the books. It will not just be about selling them by bringing in new players. They will also be aiming to balance the books, if that makes sense. As for me, the players that I want Chelsea to sign are Alvarez, Man City, Mac Allister, Brighton, goalkeeper David Raya. Okay, some good mention there. Kamara, welcome to the show. Happy Sunday to you too, Chama Yosef. I think you've said that before, but always nice to hear from you. Any news about Neymar to Chelsea, please? I think that one. I think we haven't. I haven't heard much about it of late. It was talked about for a few days, and it just, to me, you could say there's no substance to that, up to the rumor that Todd Bowley wants to sign Neymar Jr. But you could say it's believable, but I don't think it will happen. Is Pochettino appointed already on the verge of being announced? You could say appointed, maybe, for lack of a better term. Let me say all that is left now is the official announcement. So let's move on. What else do we have here? We have this as a spot would do great. He just needs time. He needs 3 signings: a DM, goalkeeper, and a senior right centre back. You mentioned that's you again mentioning an experienced right centre back. Is that what you mean, RCB? And here's the thing: I think we need an attacking midfielder, a central attacking midfielder. We have lots of eight, but how prolific are they in terms of creating chances? And that's one thing we'll have to consider. But Brown, thank you so much for joining the show. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. I did put up a poll to see how many people wants to go and watch the City game. I think I want to know, because that game, it's of great interest to us. We want them to win, because we don't want our rivals Arsenal to end up becoming to win the Premier League this season. Neville wanted Poch. Neville should focus on his abysmal coaching career. Has he gone back to coaching? No, he hasn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know. But he did coach in Spain too. Do you still remember when I said Poch would become Chelsea manager? Dixon Donut, I think I remember. But lots of us at one point, started believing that he will eventually emerge as the Chelsea manager. And I remember us analyzing a report that said something to the effect of he's the only candidate that you could say all the Chelsea hierarchy collectively, they feel good about him. And that was when I knew he actually, that sounds like as if Pochettino is actually the front runner and not Nagelsmann at the time. But still, I advise us all not to hold your breath, given the reports we're seeing out there until we get an official report. If Pochettino brings Mac Allister and Rice, we are definitely making top four. Rice would do a good job. He's just not my number one choice. As of me, I prefer Mendy than Kepa. Kepa should leave. I think there's a chance it was both will leave the club. Kepa, if he's set to take a pay cut. Mendy also rejected the contract offer that the club had on the table for him. In his case, for obvious reasons. He believes he should be starting. If you ask me, I do think that he believes he should be starting as a Senegalese international, and he's won the Champions League, the European Super Cup, the World Club Cup, and won some individual recognitions and all that. I think that alone, you could say, means that there will not be a shortage of clubs seeking to secure his signature. And I think Mendy actually needs a fresh start. Sometimes you just need to change environment or for things to change for you. I hope, again, I just wish, I just want to see that Mendy that we saw when he joined us, when he newly joined us from France. It doesn't look like we're going to see that Mendy again. So maybe he needs a fresh start. Maybe that's, again, he needs to move on from Chelsea to start doing well again. And my bro, Contender FC says, good coach don't need such a long time for impact right away. You find a way to win. Although there will still be other stuff that you cannot sort out immediately. That takes time, to fall into place. But I get it. But you should be able to make progress immediately. There should be signs that you're making progress at least, for lack of another way, of a better way to get my point across. I mean, if you think all of our appointments, the ones that get us our trophies are like few months in the job and make an impact on the team, I think it makes sense that we need to see progress to a considerable measure. We know we get it because you're new here. Everything doesn't have to be perfect, but we expect to see progress. Again, a substantial progress, actually. That makes sense. Let's move on from that. That's why Potter was an outlier. Many months in the job, hardly any impact, tactic, morale-wise. We only get boys, get everything. FVB was one of them. I don't want to remember the FVB days and all that. Let's see what else we have here. I think we have about 2 minutes before the Man City game starts. Let's see. Only 22% says no. I want to watch the City game, but I think we should round off as soon as possible so that people can go watch that game. Emiliano Martinez, in or no? I think he's a good goalkeeper. He has that attitude that I want in a player that you could say is something that we like to see in Chelsea players. And with the current crop of players we have right now, that there aren't too many of them. Except sometimes you get that from Rhys James, but he hasn't mastered that. He gets carded every time, but I think with time, he'd be mature enough to know how well to apply that during games. But yeah, I think we don't have too many of the players with such attitude that you can get from Emiliano Martinez within our current crop of players. Let's see. Big up my bro, DJ. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for always finding the time to join in the show. We sincerely do appreciate that, brother. And this here says, big up everyone in Coachella. I am not happy with the rumors. We need to be smart and go off players like Zubimendi or Tonelli instead of this overhyped. Here's the thing. One thing I have to say here, you even called it a rumors. So just see it as rumors. Yeah. Don't hold your breath on it, believing it's going to happen. That's how I like to take things, really. People remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the stream. Always providing excellent content. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for saying that, DJ. What else do we have here? Sorry, my highlight screen isn't working. It's so slow. I'm not sure why that is the case. We don't have a chance to compete with Real or City with players like Mac Allister or Rice, and we're going to be punished because FFP, big step to back. You could argue that we don't have the luxury to spend that much money in the summer. So let that help you, come to the conclusion that we're not going to actually sign all those players that we're being linked with. It's as simple as that. So the person now is trying to figure out which of these players do we really need. That will help you, narrow it down to the players that we may well truly be looking at. Sorry?
Mac Allister, if I'm not mistaken, I heard somewhere Mac Allister's all but done to Liverpool or verbal.
Yeah, but it's not done yet. But we still have a chance. But go ahead with what you were saying.
No, but I don't see a Mac Allister. The guys we want, guys. Yeah, I don't. Ugarte, I've been hearing that guy, and I don't think we're getting them. It has to be a huge that we have to get rid of a substantial amount of players for those 60+ million signings to come. And you see that happening after what we spent 6 months ago. It's a bit hard, isn't it? So I think what is addressed will be the goalkeeper, striker. That will be addressed. But other than that, I've got my fingers crossed. My fingers are crossed that we can allow some movement, and we ain't got Champions League, so it's one of them ones, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly, Kim, so I do not know, really. Let's move on. Getting a proper size club should be our main.
Coach, sorry to stop you there. I'm gonna leave you in it. I'm gonna go watch the City game. Big up yourself, man. I'm gonna catch you in a bit.
All right, no worries. We'll round off in a bit, I think, but we'll miss a few minutes of it. Getting a proper size club should be our main short-term goal. We have the best back team in the league, and aren't too far off from being Chelsea again. I think we're in between, and becoming Chelsea again would have to be strategic in the transfer market come summer. And it says Rice and a keeper should be our only target this summer. We need a central attacking midfielder. Believe me when I tell you that. Again, we need to diversify our chance creation and not just create chances from just the flanks and all that. This says Rice and the keeper. Let's see, what else do we have here? Porter. Okay, I'm not going to get into that argument. And big up to everyone in the chat. Please keep dropping the likes. We're going to round off in a beat because we have to go watch. Let's go watch the City game. And I think we'll make that up by doing an evening show. But I'll go through what we have lined up here, and then we can call it a day. Let's see what we have. What we have here. Yeah, we gotta go catch the City. We have this with regards to Pochettino, and one item also I do want us to talk about is Chelsea plan to sign a new striker in the summer. In any case, no matter what happens with Lukaku, so Lukaku shouldn't be a problem. Even if he stays, would still sign a new striker. A decision has been discussed with Pochettino. Talks will follow on best number 9 options. Plans on Lukaku will be made in June. No talks took place with Romelu Lukaku with Romelu on Inter's side of things. Let's see what else we have here. I really want us to go watch the City game because a lot of people will leave for it. So it doesn't make sense to continue. This is Thiago Silva with reports. He says, just debunking the rumors that he wants to leave Chelsea. He says, there's nothing between me and Fluminense. Now I've extended my contract because I want to stay at Chelsea. We debunked that, and that's what we love to do here. We hear nonsense. We talk about them, try to make sense of it, and we were able to conclude yesterday that there's no substance to that story, and it turns out that that's actually the case. And he says, I've told my wife that I know nothing of these rumors of a meeting with the Fluminense board. I always respect my contract. He's a gentleman, and I appreciate that coming from him. And this says, okay, this is this brother here. Let me see what he has to say before I get a few of what we have in the chat and call it a day. Hear me out. A striker is important, but this market with our current situation will force us to buy a striker that most likely is overpriced, overrated, not wanted. There's a chance that's the case, but I think we should be it's simple. Just try and be smart. And from what I'm seeing being mentioned, that Mauricio Pochettino, he likes Lautaro Martinez. I don't think we'll be going for a traditional striker. And Lautaro Martinez, I don't know the length of his current Inter Milan contract. That will, that will be a big factor with regards to how much we're going to pay for him. But I'm not sure. Reece James will play in the middle, and Poch. We are not going to spend for anyone. Nkunku will help us to make top four. Forget new striker. That may well happen, but we don't know. Let's see what else we have here. Imagine we get Messi, Mac Allister, and Martinez. I don't think we're getting Messi. Messi will go to Saudi Arabia or somewhere where he earns millions in bulk. I don't think we'll be able to give him something that'll make him to think otherwise. Ziyech, Pulisic, Mendy, Kovac, Gallagher, Ruben Loftus-Cheek will definitely be gone. I remember I told you Gallagher, I think he'd stay. I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek, there's a chance he'd stay also. Be right back, catch the City game. I think we have to go watch that game ourselves. And this says if we fork out a 70 million plus on Ivan Toney, I am going to be very worried. I don't think we'll do that. I don't think we'll actually go for Ivan Toney, especially now that it's clear that Poch, again, will most likely be announced as a new Chelsea manager in days tomorrow. We don't know when. I am almost certain he will flop here. And at this age, there's no real value. No selling value. You can argue that. But I get where you're coming from. Keep dropping the likes, people. We will drop. We will stop in a bit. So let's go watch the Man City game. Just go for Dusan Vlahovic. We need a powerful striker like him that can bang goals with his head. I think that may well be what we need, but we don't know. The manager will have to decide. And there's a chance we decide we're not going to go for a striker. The current window. Poch likes young players. And believe me, Datu Fofana, I think he would do well. And Amanda Broya, if he recovers fully from the long-term injury, haven't been out for a while, I think there's a chance that he starts firing on us, and that's for us. Chukwuemeka Onyeme Jonwanne, thank you for joining the show. I'm happy for the news of Pochettino, but this is new transfer window. We need to get it right this time. Yeah, we need to spend wisely. We need to not just to go into the market and throw money at players or at clubs. I think it would be compounding the situation rather than solving the problems we have. So we see what else do we have here? I think we have something else here which says well done, Pochettino, new Chelsea coach. I'm happy to see an experienced coach. I like him. I know a lot of people don't for some reason or the other. And Eugene is suggesting to send Broya on loan. So big up, people. That's why we call it. We have to call it a day right now. Let's go watch the Man City game. You can say it's a game that's of interest to Chelsea fans for obvious reason. And thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. We have 33 likes. I'm sure, again, if we continue the show, we'd gain more likes and get it to at least 50 or 100. But thank you to Eugenia. Thank you to Douglas and Dumbo. Did I read your comment? What did Douglas say? Okay. Thank you to Douglas. Thank you to Chukwuemeka here. Thank you to God of Frogs. Big up. I haven't said hello to you. Thank you to Kishon. Thank you to Bobby. And thank you to IBZ who was here also. I appreciate you all. I cannot thank you guys enough. See you guys during the next show, most likely later in the day. God bless us all. See you guys next time, and bye.